So what we're doing in 4.5 and 4.7 is we introduce basically how to graph all of our trig functions. And today we're going to concentrate on sine and cosine, and they're called periodic functions because they have that wavy curve that goes on to the right or out to the left forever. So when you do the sine, we're going to do sine across the top here. I'm going to really focus on a couple spots, and that's the right-hand side of the unit circle, the top, the left, the bottom. So when you talk about sine of 0, you're on the right-hand side of the unit circle. The ordered pair is 1, 0 there, right? And sine is the y value of the ordered pair. So sine of 0 is 0. At the top of the unit circle, the ordered pair is 0, 1. So the y value for my sine would be 1. Then at the left-hand side of the unit circle, negative 1, 0. So my sine is 0 again. What is it at the bottom of the unit circle? 0, negative 1. So the negative 1 is my answer there. And then back to 2 pi, same as the very first one, is a 0. Now in between, you don't have to fill them in, but it's, like that pi over 4. Remember the ordered pair is exactly the same, root 2 over 2, comma root 2 over 2. So you can fill them in between, but the blue numbers are really what I'm going to concentrate on, so I'm just going to move down. And we're going to talk about the graph. The amplitude of a sine curve is 1. The period of the function will be 2 pi. And it starts at midline. So at 0, sine will equal 0 is a lot of times what people memorize, So at the very first critical point of 0, the output is 0. I prefer you guys to kind of memorize midline because we'll shift up or shift down and things will change. So the graph looks like up 1, down 1. We're going to do the same critical values up there. 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, all the way out to 2 pi. So when I graph them now, I'm at 0 here, up to pi over 2, at pi over 2 we're up at 1, negative 1 at 3 pi over 2, and back to the midline at 2 pi. So the red dots are the values. Maybe I should have made them blue so it corresponds with the blue numbers. But the graph looks like this. Nice, smooth curve through all the dots. So that's sine curve. All right. Now let's go back to the table, and I'll use purple. If we're doing cosine, that's the x value of all the ordered pairs. So I've already written all the ordered pairs at the top. And so cosine will be a 1. Then it will be a 0. Then it will be a negative 1. Then it's 0 again. And I guess I didn't have this one written up there, but it'll be 1 again out there. Just important pieces off the unit circle. Amplitude is still 1. Period of the function is 2 pi. And starts at, I like to say a maximum, but at 0, cosine equals 1. So in this case, it starts at its maximum value. So 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, all the way up to 2 pi, up to a maximum of 1, down to a minimum of negative 1. So if you look, I don't have the table showing because it's up there. But cosine will start at 1. So at an input of 0, the output will be at 1. Then it moves to the midline, or 0, down to a minimum, back to the midline, and then a maximum. So do a nice smooth curve. And it, kind of has a little U-shape to it. So that's what sine will look like, and that's what cosine looks like.